All right. I sent the text out. If you're not on it, you should be. Let's see, how do you get on the text list? Text the word rebel to 444999. There you go. Then you get the text updates. Just sent it out. I got the text on my phone, just showed up, so you got the text too. All the men listening right now, I got a bunch of notes. I want to ask you a question. When was the last time you were in any real danger? Real danger. I don't mean a near car crash, like, ooh, that was close. I mean real danger where you were afraid for your life or afraid you were going to get physically harmed in some way. I was thinking about this. I'm going to Canada in August to fish and hunt bear. The last time I was there, Laura was pregnant with Lincoln. It was over 11 years ago. I flew 400 miles south of the Arctic Circle. We flew on a float plane and we took boats, and it was in the middle of nowhere, and I hunted bear, and I was by myself, and it was scary. And I was thinking, if I take Lincoln, if he wants to, I'd take him at a tree stand with me. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. I would be putting him at some risk. Yes, I'd have a gun, and it's a bear. The one I shot was almost 400 pounds. It was a big bear. And he would be scared. And I thought, when is the last time any of us was really afraid? And I think we're missing that. I really do. I think we're missing that. And I think men out there are missing it. I think the rise in pornography, I think the rise in infidelity, I think the quote-unquote midlife crisis, dumping your family, buying a sports car, running off with the secretary. I think the less danger, less adventure you have in your life as a man, the more often those things happen. Is it an excuse? No. I just think it's true. I have a little sign in front. Prove me wrong. Remember P90? P90 was a crazy workout. Oh, P90 so hard. P90. And then P90X because it's extreme. Extreme. Remember that? If you haven't been watching the CrossFit Games on CBS Sports, it is amazing. If you don't know what extreme is, the CrossFit Games, the things those men and women can do is otherworldly. And we pay to do this. We pay to do these things. The Spartan race, the mud runs, the big dog race, those things where, the Tough Mudder. The toughest mudder. I had a neighbor run the Tough Mudder. It was outdoors. It was freezing. They ran through electrified things. There was fire. He went to he qualified so well. Brian Gallant, you insane stud, you. He qualified so high, he went to the toughest mudder. Only the top 10% in any state could go to this thing in New Jersey. It was so crazy. There was an obstacle. They had to go underwater and under logs in the water. This was, I think, in January or December, and they ended up having to close it down because the water froze and you couldn't get through it. Oh, he paid money to be in that. Took a nap at one point and then couldn't continue because his clothes froze solid and he couldn't put them back on. Spartan race. 200-mile ultra marathons is a thing. In fact, Candace, I'm so sorry, Candace, I forgot your name, who runs the Moab 240, which is a 238-mile ultra marathon race. They run 238 miles straight without stopping. 238 miles. She's talking about doing a 500-mile race. The rise of the UFC. I watched UFC 1 live on closed circuit TV in 1994. And I think UFC 226 is going to air this Saturday. Who will be watching? I will. Right? We're paying to test ourselves. Why? Why do we pay to test ourselves? Why do we do CrossFit? Why do we watch the UFC? Why is the rise in why the Spartan races? And I mean, there's so many of those things. There's a Go Ruck one, and just the things they do is insanity. The things they do for that. I remember getting honestly beat up in an 80s karate tournament. I was probably 12-ish, and I can remember these words. I'll spare me the rest of the details, but I can remember thinking these words, I paid money to be here, as I'm getting body punched over and over again. And I know this will get me into trouble, but if you haven't seen Fight Club, okay, Brad Pitt's character Tyler Durden and Ed Norton's character, also Tyler Durden, spoiler alert, are talking to each other, and it's the very first scene where they get into a fight. And Brad Pitt's asking Ed Norton to hit him, and he's like, why? They can't understand why. And he says, why? I don't know why. I don't know. Never been in a fight. You? Ed Norton says, no, but that's a good thing. And Brad says, no, it is not. How much can you know about yourself if you've never been in a fight? I don't want to die without any scars. So come on and hit me before I lose my nerve. I think it's hilarious that as a preteen, I was lamenting that I paid money to be in that karate tournament. And then as an adult, I volunteered for a documentary that was trying to follow me from never having competed in MMA to my first amateur fight in MMA. Needless to say, after Laura saw my coach get knocked out on live TV and they held the camera on him for the 7 minutes 43 seconds he was knocked out, my fight career came to a quick end with the phrase, I have memorized it. Ryan, Matt's been wrestling since he was 6 and has an Olympic gold medal. You grew up riding a skateboard. If that can happen to him, what could happen to you? I get it, right? I get it. People say, why are you talking about this? Oh my goodness, wow, I'm getting lots of comments. I will answer those in just 1 second. I'll tell you why I was thinking about this. I'm rereading Roger Thompson's book, We Stood Upon Stars. This book is absolutely unbelievable. It is such an amazing book. We Stood Upon Stars is poetry for your soul, and it will kindle or rekindle or ignite within you, your family, your husband. I'm talking to your husbands, you men. It will reignite your sense of adventure. You need it. You're missing it. It's lacking in your life. You need danger. You do. You need danger in your life. You need to be afraid you're going to get hurt. And here's the truth. Here's the truth too. I cannot fully understand my wife's brain. I can't fully understand the way Laura thinks because our brains are wired differently. I know that's an unpopular thing to think these days. It doesn't mean it's not true. The more they learn about the brain, the more they learn how different men and women's brains are. It's amazing. It's why we are so confusing to each other. It's why you can be married as my parents for 58 years and still love each other and be fascinated by each other because they're so different. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But as much as I cannot understand Laura's brain, nor can she understand mine. She can't understand that. She can't understand my need to know what happens if I get punched in the face. What will I do? Here's what I know, wives. Here's what I know down deep in my soul. If your husband has never been punched in the face, then he doesn't truly know if he can defend you or not. I'm not saying he needs to get punched in the face. I'm not saying some guy needs to come up and just give him a big one of these. I am saying he knows it in his soul. I am saying that for sure. I know that to be true. Prove me wrong and put the sign out there, okay? Prove me wrong. That much I know to be true, and it's a tough thing. So whether it's an organized bout, whatever it is, he needs his sense of adventure pushed. He needs to be pushed. He needs his testosterone to be pushed. Because I guarantee his soul longs for an outlet. I guarantee it longs for an outlet. And if there is none available, one will present itself. Prove me wrong. Do I excuse bad behavior? No, I don't. Do I excuse dumping your family, being irresponsible, buying the sports car, running off your secretary, looking at porn, shooting up, getting high, drinking too much? No, I don't. I don't excuse that. I don't excuse playing golf for 8 hours on a weekend. I don't excuse all that stuff. I don't excuse that. And I know your guy needs a sense of adventure. I know he needs to get a little danger back in his life. Whatever that means for him, push it. It will make you happier. I guarantee it. Any questions? Bum, bum, bum. Hello from Minnesota, from Michigan. What's happening? Oh, my goodness. Felicia, hello. Betsy, hello. Kim Smith, what's happening? Samantha, good to see you. Christina, hello. Shelly, Jenny, William, Jess. I just emailed you, Jess, I think. It's so good to see you. So, if you're interested, we are diving into Roger Thompson's We Stood Upon Stars. We're sitting on the first week out tomorrow. It looks beautiful. I can't wait. It will kindle a sense of adventure in you or your husband. You should listen to it or read it out loud. to you and your family and your kids. I got to tell you, read this out loud to your wife. See what that does. Seriously. Or listen to it. You're like, oh, I'm not a good reader. The guy that reads this, John McClane, woo! Oh my goodness, it's so good. You got it? Nice. Oh, you got my email. Good job. Good deal. Totally drawing a blank on what it was, but I'm so glad that you got it. That's good. Any questions? I'll end it. It was quick. 10 minutes. Any questions, I'll answer them. Otherwise, I'm going to end this. I'm going to hit this on a podcast. I will send it up in just a little bit. I'll do the 10. I was so afraid I was going to accidentally, give the middle finger when I was doing this, and I didn't. Fantastic. All right, see y'all. Have a great one.